Tesla, Shiba Inu, Twitter, Stargate, Amazon, JetBlue, Tilray, Meta, HP, and Momentus. Hey there folks, Tagatha here from TradingView. We're back again with our Snaps Roundup, our weekly show where we cover what's been going down and up in the world's stock and crypto markets. If you like what you're watching, then of course always feel free to give us a like or subscribe to the channel. Or if you'd like daily market updates, then TradingView users can follow the link in the description below to where you can sign up to our daily emails. But anyway, we better get started.
Monday.
Tesla is well on the way to winning its game of catch-up with traditional automakers after it released record-beating Q1 vehicle delivery figures. Tesla delivered 310,000 cars in a strong start to 2022, beating both its own records and analyst estimates for 309,000, as well as representing 70% growth from the same time last year. It came despite an extremely difficult quarter, as CEO Elon Musk described it, which was plagued by worsening supply constraints and a resurgence of COVID in China. In fact, Tesla also said that its Shanghai Gigafactory will remain closed for yet another week. The EV leader continues to threaten traditional automakers with its progress, and major players like GM and Toyota reported massive sales declines on Friday, April 1st because of component shortages. The growth builds on a near doubling of car sales in 2021, which saw Tesla deliveries overtake both Volvo and Subaru. Shiba Inu developers have launched a new virtual reality venture called the SHIBUSD. The new metaverse will be formed on Shibarium, which is a sidekick system for SHIB, and will allow users to buy virtual real estate represented by NFTs. While the details aren't entirely clear yet, buyers are expected to be able to monetize their land and earn a passive income off their stately homes. 100,000 land plots will be available to buy, starting with an initial release of 36,000 plots. An undecided portion of these plots will be privatized by developers and used as a way for players to commute across the map of the metaverse. This project will create yet another way to burn SHIB tokens, and as we all know, less supply typically equals higher value. While landowners will have to buy their plot using ETH, they can rename it through SHIB, where the token amount will be burnt upon purchase. SHIB rose 5% over the first weekend in April, which is actually a quiet interlude all things considered, especially given its usual hunger for volatility.
Tuesday.
Elon Musk spent around $3 billion on a 9.2% stake in Twitter, meaning he now owns 4 times more shares than Jack Dorsey, who founded the place. The purchase comes only a few days after Elon asked his Twitter followers how they rate Twitter's algorithm and whether it should be more open source, even saying he was considering making a social media platform of his own. We guess he's gone down a different path though. The filing says that Elon will be more of a passive investor, which means he has no plans at the moment to try and control the company. But let's be real, this is Elon Musk we're talking about, and he's hardly a passive dude, so it's likely that he's going to have a pretty big say in the future of Twitter. The SEC, though, is a far cry from an Elon fan, so let's see what it has to say with this news. Twitter prices catapulted 27% on Monday, April 4th, marking the stock's biggest one-day gain since its IPO debut in 2013, and taking prices to their highest levels since late November last year. Maybe it's all those fans thinking they'll finally get an edit button, which Elon is apparently already investigating. He sure does keep us on our toes, doesn't he? It seems like Stargate has the magic touch after the bridge's total value locked when hurtling into another dimension after less than a month. The Stargate bridge has amassed a TVL of over $4 billion in the 17 short days since launching in March. The 100 billion Stargate tokens that the protocol auctioned to amass the liquidity to launch the bridge in the first place is looking like a speck on the event horizon now. Stargate is just like any other crypto bridge, letting investors move money between blockchains, but with a few key safety differences. The bridge only hosts a select few popular assets, mostly stablecoins like USD Coin, Tether, and Binance Coin, and guarantees instant finality and liquidity across a bunch of chains. The idea with that is to add an extra layer of security. If you've been paying attention, you know that bridge hacks are becoming a big problem. The recent Wormhole and Ronin bridge attacks were 2 of history's biggest. Stargate definitely can't guarantee that none of that will happen, but investors certainly seem to think that it has solid safety measures in place, so let's see. Amazon's internet beaming satellite project, Project Kuiper, has taken one giant leap towards its mission to space. Amazon just announced the biggest rocket deal in commercial space history, detailing deals with 3 major rocket launch companies, including Bezos's Blue Origin, obviously, the European-based Arianespace, and United Launch Alliance. So basically all the big ones except for Elon's SpaceX. The contracts include 83 satellite launches that will take place over the next 5 or so years, and it'll cost Amazon billions of dollars. If all goes to plan, the e-commerce giant will have released the bulk of its first 3,000 satellites by 2026. It looks like there's a new space race afoot. After the billionaires of the world raced to be the first in space, they're now racing to be the first to provide global internet. Amazon's efforts are largely to keep up with Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink program, which is way ahead and already boasts 2,000 satellites in orbit, with plans for tens of thousands more. JetBlue put Spirit Airline investors in a great mood this week after offering it another giant buyout bid and extending the low-cost airline battle. JetBlue has offered $3.6 billion in cash and stock to buy out Spirit Airlines, putting a crimp in Frontier Airlines' February takeover offer and outbidding them by a whopping 40%. The pair are battling it out to build a low-cost airline giant, as air carriers face higher fuel and labor costs and work to attract more leisure travelers back after COVID, so airlines are feeling the pressure to keep up. Spirit saw its stock fly 22% on Tuesday, April 5th, for its best day all year, so investors seem to be on board with the idea. The deal would make a worthy rival to the four legacy airlines that at the moment control nearly 80% of the entire US passenger market.
Thursday.
Tilray turned green after fitting a surprise profit and an exciting new hemp deal, all into one well-rolled earnings report. Tilray opened Thursday, April 7th, up nearly 15%, before paring those gains to close up 3%. It comes after absolutely smashing the bottom line estimates with earnings per share of 4 cents when analysts expected a loss of 8 cents, but it did miss on the top line with revenues of $152 million. Manitoba Harvest, which is a unit of Tilray, announced a new distribution deal that got investors absolutely buzzing. It said that its hemp powders will be available in 300 Amazon-owned Whole Foods stores for the next 3 months, adding an extra layer of profits to the brand. Investors are deciding which horse to get behind in the event of US federal legalization, which could be on the way given a new bill has just passed in the House. With over 10% of the Canadian cannabis market share, Tilray could be the winning horse, but competition is also getting tougher by the day. You know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, it seems Mark Zuckerberg has made that the slogan of his crypto efforts. Meta now has plans for a new virtual currency, which is being affectionately called Zuck Bucks by staff. The social media giant wants to introduce virtual coins, tokens, creator coins, and lending services to a bunch of its apps that can be used in the new metaverse. It comes after the brand's crypto venture, DM, called it quits earlier this year after getting blocked by regulators at literally every turn. Meta is diverging from a typical blockchain-based currency this time, instead looking at an in-app token that's centrally controlled by the company, similar to Robux in Roblox games. But will this bring the fans flocking back? As most of us will know from Meta's infamous earnings report in Feb, which sent the stock crashing, the company is struggling to attract and retain users, so it needs to explore further revenue streams and spice up its platforms.
Friday.
It looks like big dog investor Warren Buffett wants a piece of the printing biz, and HP investors have welcomed him with open arms. Berkshire Hathaway is now the printer and PC maker's largest shareholder after buying 121 million shares of HP for roughly $4.2 billion to give the company and its CEO an 11.6% stake. This is Berkshire's third massive buy this year after about 6 years of muted action. The brand recently bought out insurance company Allegheny for $11.6 billion and has been scooping up shares of Occidental Petroleum. Buffett said in his shareholder letter in February that internal opportunities deliver far better returns than acquisitions. And he may be right, because HP shares soared just under 15% on April 7th to close at a brand new all-time high of over $40, proving that investors still highly value his input. The jump earned Buffett a one-day profit of around $650 million, so clearly the investment is paying off already. SpaceX saw Amazon's rocket launch move and raised it one, inking a deal with Momentus that sent its shares on a flight to the moon. Momentus rocketed a whopping 48% on Thursday, April 7th, after hitting their highest price since late December and marking its biggest one-day jump since it started trading in August 2021. However, shares are still down nearly 60% since then. Elon Musk's SpaceX is to thank for the stock's liftoff. The company signed multiple launch agreements with the space exploration brand, which has reserved slots for Momentus on 4 upcoming SpaceX missions. It comes only a few days after Amazon signed the biggest commercial rocket deal in history. Space SPACs are hot right now. Investment in the industry is booming, and there are more and more startups trying to cash in on the new trend. Once all the recently announced mergers are completed in the next few months, there will be around 10 new companies in the broader market. But is there enough business for all of them? Okay everyone, that's all we have time for right now. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe using the button below so that you can stay up to date with these videos in the future. Until then though, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, always remember to look first, then leap.